Hello, and welcome back to another Assetto Corsa EVO stream. It's been a while since last time, hasn't it? I was busy with various stuff on retro achievements, between achievements of the month that took way longer than they should have, and the, well, I guess still relatively recent racing game event that I'm still working on completing. But, well, I couldn't miss this since finally some of our prayers have been answered in regards to Assetto Corsa EVO. It is supposedly entirely offline now. Now, as I mentioned before, this isn't, at least for me, entirely enough to make up for the mess that was the release, but it's certainly going in the right direction. But yeah, we'll see how the development continues from here. I will say though, I do get the feeling that this might have been yet another case in the recent years of the publisher forcing a game to become a live service game to the detriment of the game itself, given some of the circumstances around this announcement of the offline mode for Assetto Corsa EVO. But this is pure speculation. I don't know if that was actually the case. But it certainly seems plausible from some of the things that have been happening. But either way, we can get started with this, and I also realized while I was already on the intro screen that I slightly messed up because, well, some time ago I decided to split up my scene collections in OBS to different categories depending on, like, one for emulators, one for other games, and one for sim racing. And I forgot to switch to the sim racing set, so I am going to have to, well, I'm not sure exactly what state the sim racing scene set is in currently, so I'm gonna have to really quickly set up a new scene for AC EVO. So if you give me a moment to do just that. We've got the microphone, the game, and the audio. And hopefully this should work. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything that I need here. Yeah, okay. I'll see. Actually, I can already see the audio is probably a bit loud. So give me one moment to turn that down as well. Let's try like this. much is that? Okay. Maybe even more. Yeah, let's try this for now. And yeah, we do have to set up our profile again, since this update deleted everyone's progress. I'm gonna have a nickname, age 4. Why does it scroll so slowly with the wheel? Poland. And yeah, we now also have career mode and open mode. In career mode, you will produce XP points while playing, gain virtual credits, and face driving academy challenges to unlock vehicle groups. In open mode, you have instant access to all vehicles. In this mode, there are no XPs, virtual credits, or progress tracking to face. Yeah, I will be starting this off with career mode. And yeah, I think we've already seen this. Start with entry license. Driving licenses will entitle you to unlock vehicle groups, purchase or rent the vehicles. Rental has low cost and high flexibility, while purchasing a car allows you to customize it further. Free to play however you prefer through single player, multiplayer, special events, or ranked scenarios. You will collect XP points. This will help you to improve your rank, collect credits, spend credits for renting, purchasing, or customizing vehicles. Welcome to Early Access. Let's initialize your profile, fill in your info, and purchase your first vehicle. I mean, we already filled in our info. And I expect we might have some new cars. I guess not. I would have thought some of the new cars that were introduced would be in the entry. License, guessing by their performance, but I guess not. We still have the same 6. Last time I started with the Escort. Do I want to still go with the Escort? No, let's go with the S2K this time. We have single tone interior, dual tone interior, or special edition Suzuka Blue. I think I prefer the single tone interior. Let's also do some configuration. For example, what body colors do we have? This one's kinda cool. I don't know, for some reason for me the S2K always sort of... I always think of it in blue for some reason. I don't know, I kind of like this color. Let's maybe try this. So what do we have here? Can I like... Okay. Is it actually changing something? Okay, so I think it seems to work with some delay when you switch this. I assume when it's white that means enabled, and I do prefer this look. We can change the interior color, but I'm gonna stick with black. Now, what wheel options do we have? Okay, this is also quite slow to respond. I'm not really seeing the difference. Exactly. Okay, it's very tiny. Like, I can see something is changing, but I can't really tell what. Yeah, I think I'll stick with this. I'm not really sure why the camera has to be so far offset to the side. Okay, you can move it with the right mouse button. That would have been nice to figure out a little earlier. Also, it kind of behaves weirdly when the mouse goes off screen. But yeah, I think I like this setup. And let's confirm that. And first things first, let's set up the triple screens because it's not currently working. So hold on, how do I do this? Let's apply this first of all. Okay, so it's being annoying because it's not letting me. What happens if I enable full screen? Okay, so now it lets me change aspect ratio. If I switch back to full screen off, I can't. This is gonna take some messing around. So 16 by 9, that would be it's not even giving me the option, even though I have things set up in a way that it's supposed to allow me to switch that. Well, I guess we're gonna have to hack it with windowed borderless gaming, or whatever it's called. Yeah, windowed borderless gaming. For some reason I have it set to launch with the system startup, but it doesn't. Yes, I already have this set up. Okay, this is... It confused it for a moment, but now it seems to be fine, except I now need to reconfigure it in OBS, because obviously now it's completely off to the side. Crop left 1920, right 1920 pixels. And that's working. And my PC is... my PC fans are going into overdrive. Also, do we still have... Where was it? I guess we don't. There was an online-offline toggle before. Does it have my controls set up properly? Yeah, I think. Yeah, what is... I'm trying to check something, game. Okay, yeah, the gears are assigned properly. Did anything change in the academy? Doesn't seem like it. Except that all of these are unlocked already. I don't know if that's like a leftover from my save file or if that's just something they changed. Although if it was a leftover, then I would expect the first from Supercar to also be unlocked, so... Maybe it's not. I don't think I'm gonna start off with that straight away. Let's do some racing. We have some new circuits. I believe Fuji was also not added when I last played. With this latest update we've also got Donington and Kota. Actually, also before I start that, let me just double check that it is like... Okay, no, they are entry, they're just not available to select as starters. Is there a way to filter by license? I thought there was. Oh, even the NSX is entry? I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, the Julia Sprint. The NSX apparently. But the Delta HF is sports car. And so is the MX-5. That does not make any sense. Why some of these are sports cars while others are entry. And the Maserati GT2 is entry? I think they really... I feel like they might have messed up the licenses required for some of these cars. Yeah, they have also supposedly updated the AI somewhat. So we can maybe have a look to what extent that's actually true. We do also have race weekends now. We don't need a warm-up, but let's have practice 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Actually, maybe 5 minutes for both practice and qualifying. Just so I can sort of get an idea of the like warm up to the track, you know. Yeah, let's maybe keep this the default. I feel like I can increase the AI difficulty a little from the default though. Sure, let's make it a single make, just to make sure there's no like situation like last time when I tried to do races where everyone just actually got a faster car than me. Yeah, Donington. What are these? Yeah. Everything off, that seems correct. Let's also see how the performance is gonna be. So that's another thing that they supposedly fixed. Also, I wasn't really paying attention, but no, it is left-hand drive. What do we even have in setup? We can have eco, road, or supercar tires. Well, I expect the AI are probably going to use the best tires available, so let's also get that and drive. And right. No. Would it be in view settings? I mean, it's supposed to be running in triple screen. So why is the HUD displaying in the side screens? Let me check if I can do something about that. Okay, can't even access HUD settings, but I have... Yeah, I have triple screen enabled. Let's just turn it off and back on again. I mean, well, actually, I'm not sure if it is doing proper, like, triple screen rendering. So I think that might be broken at this current stage. Although, to be fair, I am doing things that it very much... Oh, you can... Never mind, you can actually drag them while you're in-game. I didn't realize that. So I can just drag everything onto the middle screen. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Okay, the stutters are still there. I'm not sure what the pit limit is, and I don't have a pit limiter map. And the force feedback feels really light. I don't know if it... I don't actually remember if I figured out force feedback settings and if that I liked and it forgot them, or if I never really got them to where I really liked them. I can probably brake a little later there. Hold on. Another thing that I need to drag. Never mind, it disappeared. The pop-up about warnings. Okay, hold on. I really need... I know I have everything. This is just when the car is not moving. Okay, makes the wheel harder to turn, so I might actually want to increase these a bit. So this dynamic. Okay, I didn't actually look into what those were. I saw damping. I assumed it meant like dampening the forces. I guess I didn't properly look into what it all meant. I actually don't remember what like the default settings were or the recommended settings. Late into this one. I also have not done any sim racing in a long time, so I'm really rusty right now. Okay, way too early on the brakes there. Or was I? It doesn't actually turn as well as I expected it to. Okay, but the steering definitely feels a bit better now. I think now I might have too much of that dynamic damper. Okay, probably a bit earlier into there. What position is that gonna be? Okay. More or less in the middle of the pack. Actually looks like I can't drag those warnings over to the central screen, but I can drag that over. So yeah, let's go back to the pit lane. I feel like that delta might be a little bit broken, as I highly doubt I'm 25 seconds ahead of my PB. I mean, glitches like that are, at least I would say, mostly understandable for an early access game. Maybe in the previous streams I wasn't as willing to forgive these problems because of the always online requirement, which definitely wasn't an early access glitch, but a conscious decision to make it like that. Okay, so that's a 60, but I don't know if the game actually properly implements the speed limit. Okay, and we actually get rewards from this now. We don't have to worry about the game losing connection and not giving us any rewards. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, we can now save replays. Not sure we have any control over the replay camera currently, but that's not that big of a deal. I'm sure it's gonna get implemented at some point. Okay, now we have qualifying. I think the pit limit is probably 50 kilometers per hour, judging from how fast the AI was going. Actually, I guess one thing I kind of wonder is, given that they now have a manual pit limiter. I don't think I checked it, but does the game properly simulate whether or not a given car has a pit limiter? Or does it just allow you to enable it on every car? So, like, could I actually enable a pit limiter on this S2000 or no? Apparently that's not a cut. But I missed the braking there for a second, but no, it's fine. Let's try there for this hairpin. Yeah, I think that was a bit better. I think that might be pole, if I remember correctly what kinds of times the AI was doing in practice. Yeah, it certainly looks like it. maybe I set up the AI still a bit too low difficulty. Well, not even maybe, definitely. Yeah, 2 seconds ahead of second place. Definitely set the difficulty way too low. There's actually one thing I wanted to check. Because I did see, you might have also seen that video from, I think, Niels Husingveld about throttle maps in and throttle simulation in racing sims. It kind of almost seems like maybe they have fixed it in EVO. I mean, I don't know, but it seemed like depending on the throttle position, it was actually holding different RPM, which is how it should behave, but it didn't. Oh, did it automatically move on to the next session? I did not click that. Or did it crash? No, it automatically moved on to the next session because everyone finished, I guess. That's interesting. So I didn't check, but did it remember? No, it switched over to road compound. You know what, since I did qualifying presumably also on road compound, and I'm now more used to how the car handles with that, let's stick with that. Okay, I'm actually not sure anymore. I'm gonna do a pre-practice session after this and check it out properly. Yeah, this is not gonna be a particularly interesting race. Seeing as I set the AI too low. But hey, it's still credits and XP, right? It definitely seems like the delta display is broken currently. I guess maybe right now it would make sense to be far in the green, but if I remember from qualifying, there was a point where it was showing like -2 seconds, and then the final lap ended up being a tenth slower than my PB. Well, maybe I just lost that time. I don't know. It definitely would be nice if the delta saved between sessions rather than just comparing to session best, or session personal best rather. But I guess that's something that I don't think any AC game did on its own. Okay, actually it looks like it's maybe working as it's supposed to right now. I don't know what happened that one time when I went off track and was suddenly 25 seconds ahead. There's definitely something wrong with the delta. Wow. I did not think I was gonna save that. I guess the goal now is to see if I can lap anyone this race. Too fast. I don't think I'm gonna manage to lap anyone, because looks like everyone is already on the same lap as me, looking at the leaderboard. Also, I guess we didn't really properly check if the AI is actually any better with this latest update. Since we didn't actually get to race them. So I'll probably do another quick race later on. Just turn the AI up to 100% probably, or set it to like range of 95 to 100. And see how they do. If they're any better at not wrecking the player and stuff like that. I will say, I am really enjoying just driving around right now. Even though I don't think that's really changed much since the previous updates. But I guess just the fact that I no longer have to complain about the game being always online means I can just well, go into it a bit more open-minded and actually pay more attention to everything else that's actually in the game, rather than just being completely negative because of that one reason. Which I suppose also just goes to show how big of an impact a tiny detail like that can have on a game. Or on the enjoyment of a game. Like, you'd think the fact that the game is always online wouldn't have any impact on how much you enjoy the gameplay itself, and yet clearly it does. Or at least it can have an impact. Not sure what I was doing there. And we're already onto the final lap. I think the game, for a split second there, showed the checkered flags instead of white on that display on the top. Because I guess the system already detected that I crossed the timing line onto the last lap, but it was still detecting me at the end of the previous lap rather than at the start of the next lap in another way, so it thought, oh, you're on the last lap and approaching the timing line, we should show checkered flags, before it then switched to white. Or maybe I'm just seeing things that aren't there. Both are possible, I think. And there we go. There is a bit of a problem with the stutters that I have noticed a couple times, which, like, honestly, I can live with them in general, but if it happens to hit as you're shifting, the game just doesn't register the shift, I guess, because, like, I think it still registers the move with the gear stick, but it doesn't register me pressing the clutch at any point, so it doesn't actually change gear. And I guess we can also test it out here. So, like, if I give it a tiny bit of throttle, like, yeah, it seems to be kind of working better than in that video talking about how the RPM should behave versus how it actually did. Although I feel like it's still a bit too sensitive. But I think in that video when he showed it off, he was able to like give it, I think 14% throttle and go all the way to the red line. Whereas here I can give it like, that's like 30 and it's still sitting around 6k RPM, so like I think it probably should be at lower RPM than it is. I don't actually know. Maybe it is behaving as it should. But it's definitely not the same system that was in those videos, I feel. So that's another improvement. What's just happened? Did it restart the session? I'm not going to be doing another race. Are there any new... Oh, this whole UI is different. A bit, I think. Yeah, there's definitely some new special events as well. Let's have a look at some of the other new cars that we can get. And I did spot that this says starting from 0 credits. So, I don't know, I feel like this is probably broken. And also, I mean, if like if an MX-5 is 9.6 rating and a GT2 car is 19.9, I feel like the scale of this rating is like you could make it a bit more precise, a bit of a wider scale, wider gaps between different cars. But let's have a look at this thing, and we've actually got some like racing liveries-ish. Is this actually... Yeah, I guess this is a racing version, not a road-going version. What can we configure? A lot of options for body color, but let's be honest, only red works for this car. Can I change this? No. We got 14-inch or 15-inch wheels. Yeah, I think I prefer those. And oh, auxiliary headlights. Takes them a while to disappear. It seems. I think I'll get it without them. For now. I mean, we can always install them later if we want. Yeah, let's get this thing and let's check out one of the new cars from this update. And let's check it out at Fuji. Why not? I'm just gonna do a practice session this time though. Okay. Let's, I guess, check this out while we're... Well, never mind. It's still the same, it seems. Like the tiniest bit of throttle still revs all the way to the red line. So never mind about that, I guess. I was not expecting this corner to be right there already. I'm not that familiar with Fuji. I mean, I guess this also isn't technically a new track for this update, but again, I haven't played the previous update at all, so it is new to me. You really have to brake early with this thing. And those things have collision. I'm used to like modded AC1. I feel like most tracks, at least modded tracks, didn't really have dynamic scenery. I don't know if that game at all supported that. So you just drive straight through those. Okay, now where do I brake? Let's try all the way back here. Yeah, that seems to have done okay. Probably would have been better if I didn't lock up almost the whole way, but let's not talk about that. It's definitely challenging to drive, but it is quite fun. You really have to find the sweet spot with the brakes, as much pressure as you can get away with before it starts to lock up. I guess I was really relying on the ABS in that S2000 earlier. Way earlier than that. So like right here. Okay, or maybe I was just not that great on the brakes previously, although actually I did just barely manage to slow down there. At first it felt like I was gonna slow down way too much, but then I guess I didn't actually brake too early. Yeah, we do have a replay from here. Let me have a look at the replay a bit more, like... I'm guessing this is, yeah, this is for going forward and backward. Okay, I don't know if they're... If I just press escape, yeah, that's just exit. Are there any, like, controls? The F7 for free camera. I'm not sure if there is a... Oh my... Hello? Jesus Christ, the UI is not very good. Let me scroll this thing. Crying out loud. It's broken. I don't know if there is any sort of photo mode at this point. I guess I'm gonna exit out of that. And let's switch over to open mode for now. And have a look at what we have here. Check out some of the other cars. Yeah, here we can just pick anything at any time. I definitely want to check out the Porsche. What's the power package? Does it change anything visually or just performance? Looks like it's just performance. A lot of color options. I think let's go with this one. And what is this? How do I go into interior view? Oh, I had that unchecked. What is it even talking about with seat piping? I'm not really seeing any difference with the seats themselves. I don't know, I'm not seeing any difference really. We do have 4 different color options. I think I like black. And only one option for wheels. Is this actually doing anything? But there is a front splitter, apparently that's optional. But yeah, let's add that to our garage. And while we're here, remove the abarth. That I don't really care about that much. Yeah, photographs are not available under gallery yet. Just replace for now. We still have the special events from here. And I guess let's check out the final circuit that I haven't checked out yet. I'm not gonna do a race with this just yet. But also I'm not sure the AI improvements are actually that much. So does it still... I don't know. Yeah, no, it's still revving really high at very low throttle. So... that hasn't actually been changed. Yeah, there's like these S's at the start. I don't think I've ever actually driven Circuit of the Americas. And trying to learn a track without a minimap is quite difficult. And I'm just realizing I never actually checked how the audio is now that we're actually in game. So you might not have been able to hear me this whole time, but no, it looks like it's okay actually. And I'm just now starting to realize just how much I actually would use the minimap in Assetto Corsa 1 when first learning a circuit. Because I'm just struggling here. God damn it. I'm also not that used to the cars actually stalling. In AC1 again, that's not a thing, so... something I'm gonna have to get used to. With EVO. I mean, I do like that it's a thing. I first and foremost want immersion in racing sims, so I'm glad that the car does stall and you have to restart it yourself if you do, but I'm gonna have to get used to that. Completely forgot that these corners exist. And I guess again this is more realistic for learning a track, not having a mini-map, but I've gotten so used to having one in AC1 that it's difficult to actually learn the layout without it now. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna check out every single new car that's been introduced in this update because there's quite a few. So I think let's just switch back to the Honda because I actually kind of know how to drive this thing. And do a short, like 5-lap race. At why is that only allowing 11 opponents? Let's go back to Donington. Or wait, that's grid starting position. That's why. Where is number of opponents? Here. I thought it would make more sense for the first option to be the number of opponents rather than grid starting position. We do also now have a custom grid setting where you can just set up the entire grid however you want. If I just enable all kinds of vehicles. Yeah, let's try that. Random position. Why did it not? Yeah, custom. This one. Okay, this is broken, it seems. But I'm hoping if I just apply it and go in that it's gonna work. Also, let's see how the game runs with 19 cars on track, I guess. Okay, they're still really slow off the line. Am I still going to be able to just run away from them, or will they now pose a bit more of a challenge? Looks like I'm still just running away from everyone. So you know what, let's actually redo that. And let's set it up so I start in last place. So I actually maybe get to see some of the AI's behavior. But I think this is gonna be the last thing I do for today. Wow, they're slow off the line. Why are you breaking through there? That was maybe a bit of a dive bomb in there, but God, why are they so slow? That was a bit late on the brakes, I think. Never mind. I guess because I was going slower on that previous corner. Okay, can I get first place? Is the question now. I guess. But yeah, I think the AI are a bit better. And I haven't exactly been in the same sort of situation where one of them would just shove me out of the way, but they seem to be doing fairly well at not crashing into the player. Although I might just be imagining things again. But again, this is just early access still. They still have a long way to go to the full release, so I'm sure they can still improve it. So I am now definitely looking forward to what comes next. Oh, god damn it. Well, I'm definitely not gonna be getting first after that. Won't be able to do the last to first challenge. Still managed to get at least second. Despite that screw up. But yeah, I am now definitely once again really excited for the future of AC EVO. Maybe actually as excited as I was for the game before it released, though. I mean, it doesn't quite currently have enough different cars to fully recapture that feeling, but this race definitely gave me a bit of the same feeling of playing Forza Motorsport 3 all the way back with, like, you know, I'm driving a Honda S2000, overtaking a Lancia Delta and a Hyundai i30, or whatever it's called. And obviously the i30 wasn't around back in that game, but I mean, you get the point, like, completely different, unrelated cars that just happen to be somewhat even performance, just racing. That's exactly what I was kind of hoping for from AC EVO as they started announcing more and more about it. What just happened? You're probably not seeing this. Yeah, I got some ODE internal error 1 pop-up. Assertion row 1 norm fault failed in some file path. And I think the game just froze. And I'm guessing crashed. Yep. It's gone. So I guess it's good that I was gonna end here anyways, but there is one more thing I want to do before I fully finish off. The question is, where do I even find that? Probably here. Because I want to double check that it really is offline. There it is, firewall. Assetto Corsa EVO. Blocked. Why is it not letting me uncheck all of it? Okay, I'm guessing if I just uncheck that all the way to the left, that just means it's not allowed to connect. And let's restart it and see if my save file is still there. Although I guess there is also the possibility that it's not there because the game crashed. I'm gonna have to re-trigger windowed borderless. So I guess what's in the next update? 9 new cars, Spa, Red Bull Ring, multiplayer, more special events, tire model, AI opponents. Then we have multiplayer step 2, sim grid integration, not sure what that is. Single player championships, modding tools, career updates, free roam, and finally 1.0 with all the other features like full-on customization and tuning. I'm hoping photo mode gets added before then, because I don't want to have to keep using the same generic thumbnail for every stream. Okay, so it's gonna send us through this screen every time, and yeah, the save file is certainly here. And okay, it looks like it can actually connect, because these are also still here. So I guess I didn't manage to properly disable it in the firewall settings, but I will do some more testing off stream with completely disconnecting the completely disconnecting my internet and see how that works. But obviously I cannot do that on a live stream for, I think, obvious reasons. I'm just now seeing YouTube is giving me an error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I hope that wasn't the case. Throughout. Well, it looks like this message only popped up like right now, apparently. And OBS is not showing any problems, 0 dropped frames, so maybe it's just YouTube saying things that aren't actually happening. But yeah. That's gonna be it for today, I guess. And yeah, again, I'll be back on Tuesday with more retro achievements. Achievement of the week, then achievement of the month on Wednesday. I'm not sure when I'll actually properly get back into AC EVO. I mean, there's still stuff happening on retro achievements that I want to finish off before I'm really fully free to do other stuff. So yeah, but I'll probably get back to it at some point. I don't know. I mean, there's only 2 months left for one of the events, no matter what, on retro achievements. So beyond that, I'm not gonna be doing anything else with that. So I guess that's when I might be able to get back to some of this stuff. But yeah, that's it for today. So you know what to do. Do it with style. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and if you're watching at a later time, leave a comment. And other than that, thanks for watching.